USA Football presents 2-Minute Drill with me, Andy Ryland. Hi Coach, Andy Ryland, USA Football, back with another 2-Minute Drill. We got a question from a coach this week that asked, would it be complicated to teach the numbering system to defensive linemen? Like all things in football, it will only be as complicated as you make it. And your player's ability to absorb that information will normally be based on their age, their maturity level, and their cognitive abilities. Players that are older in school will have a much better understanding of numbers, and this could be a great technique. Before we get into teaching our defensive linemen numbers, we need to agree on a numbering system. Now, there are multiple defensive line numbering systems out there, but I'm going to present the one that I've had the most experience with. On the defensive side of the ball, we're going to number the system based on the offensive players. A player lined up on the nose of the center will be a 0 technique. As we move down the line, on top of each player is going to be our even numbers, 2, 4, and 6. A player in a 6 technique would be head up on the tight end. If we know that our even numbers are head up position, now let's talk about shades. For me, when we talk about shades, we're going to start with the outside shade. A player lined up in the outside shade of the center will be a 1. Outside of the guard is 3, tackle is 5, and for some reason, outside of the tight end is referred to as 9. You'll often hear this when you watch football on TV when you hear a wide 9 technique. That's referring to this position. Now that we have our odds and our evens, we get into a little tricky situation, what we call eye techniques. Eye techniques mean inside. So in our situation, if a player is going to line up on the inside shade of the guard, right here, we'd call that a 2-eye. Inside shade of the tight end would be a 6-eye. Different systems use different numbers, but this is a system I've had the most success with. Once we've agreed upon a system and taught it to our players, it allows us to call defenses with a simple numbering technique. And here's how. We'd use a 2-digit system which would tell our 2 interior defensive linemen where to line up. We'll always use the strong side first. So if I were to call a 31 defense, that tells my defensive tackle to the strong side, he's going to line up in a 3. On the weak side, our defensive lineman would line up in a 1. Traditionally, a 1 technique is called a nose. Our defensive ends alignment will be based on what's in front of them. Traditionally, on the short side, we'd have a 5 technique, and depending on your defense, to the tight end side, you'll either have a wide 9 or a 6-eye. Is this system right for you? Ultimately, you have to meet your needs and your defensive philosophy. The numbering system is a great way for defensive players to get aligned, as long as they're able to understand it and you can teach it well.